Do people actually cook in Bali or do they only order food? Or they do both?
Just a little bit of a mix from what you cooked and what you ordered. There you go. Some rice and some vegetables.
But that is not the point of this video. This video is about the fact that I lived in Bali for over 6 months now, and it's time to give an unfiltered opinion. Because I'm not gonna lie, like Bali is an amazing place to live, but it has its ups and downs when it comes to actually living here and building the business. So I want to give you every detail. The entire journey from where I lived, how I got those places, where I was at when I started living in Bali, where my business went, what are the good areas to live, food, Bali belly, health, kitas, all the things that you need to know if you actually consider living in Bali. And I'm not gonna lie, it is quite funny how all of this works. Because when people first arrive in Bali, they always stay in Canggu. So that brings me to the first topic. Like, where do you stay when you want to live in Bali? When I arrived in Bali for the first time, I went to Canggu as well. Canggu is like the center, everything is there, it's close to everything, and it's nice. But it's also very chaotic and very hectic. After Canggu, I was like done with it. Last year, I spent 4 months in Bali. I was in Canggu. The first 1 month, 2 months that I was in Bali, I spent in Canggu. And after that, I was like, fuck Canggu. I want to get out of here. It's too chaotic. It's too hectic. Then I moved to Tumbak Bayou. So when you have Canggu, that's the busy area. Then you have Batu Balang, that's like the main road of Canggu. And then you go after that. So you have like one main road. And there you have Babakan. That's where I started living then. I lived in a villa in Babakan. And that was fun. That was nice. But my business was not still as stable as I wanted it to be. The landlord was a bit bipolar when it comes to pricing. He wants to increase price, then no, it was fine the price that we negotiated on. Then this was good, then this was bad. It just wasn't the ideal situation. So then from Babakan, I moved back to Canggu. And actually, after 1 month or 2 months living in a guest house in Canggu, because in the end, like guest houses are the cheapest options to stay in. I got invited into the villa where I live right now, and that's in Tumbak Bayou. Tumbak Bayou is so you have Batu Palang, Pararanang, Chumbak Bayou. Chumbak Bayou is like the Babakan of Pararanang, and Pararanang is like next out of the center of Canggu. It's less busy. It's still a bit busy. It's still close to everything, and it's still nice. Then right now, the people who actually live here, they move from Pararanang to Sese, and then also with Sese, you have an upper area as well where you can live. And then from next to Sese, you have Chamagi. So when it comes to the areas where people live, the people that actually live in Bali, they live in Pararanang or like Tumbak Bayu where I live because that's more long-term stayers. They live in Sese because it's more quiet, more peaceful, more in the rice fields. Or they live in Chamagi, and Chamagi is even a little bit further from Canggu. It's like a 20-minute bike ride. Those are the areas where a lot of people stay. Then you also have Brawa, so then you have Batu Palang, Pararanang, Sese, Chamagi, and if we go back to Batu Palang, you have Brawa, and Brawa is a shit show. It's really, really busy. I personally, I never stayed there. I don't want to stay there. I think Batu Palang was fine for me, but a lot of people, when they first arrive in Canggu area, they stay either in Batu Palang or Brawa. Whatever you want. It depends on your stay, but this is for people who actually want to live in Bali and why it matters. We have a second thing that's very important. You have kitas. And the thing about kitas, it basically means visa. It's very important to sort that out properly. As in, they become way and way more strict on it. Rules change almost every single month. So it might be the case that everything that I'm saying right now is not valid the moment you watch this video 2 years later, because Kitas is a shit show. I use the Kitas agency. That means I don't directly apply through the government. I directly apply through an agency. Because when you use an agency, it's way easier to get into it. What I recommend for a lot of people, if you've never been in Bali, First, just do a visa on arrival, Kitas on arrival, visa on arrival. That's most often like 1 month. Build your network here, go to a lot of network places, and ask around with the people who live here to recommend you visas, because else you go to Bali Solve or like Bali something. Those are most often the most expensive ones, but not necessarily the best ones. I overpaid a little from my Kitas because I didn't want to leave the country, so I came on a visa on arrival. Then I put my visa on arrival into a bridging visa that was also like 1 month solid, and then after the bridging visa, I got my Kitas, and that's like a 1 year visa. I got the remote workers visa, so I'm allowed to work here, but I'm not allowed to work for Indonesian companies, and I'm not allowed to promote Indonesian companies, so I'm not doing that. Yeah, so that's good to know. I think you're working right now on an influencer's visa as well, so you're allowed to promote companies, but I'm not sure. You also have a D12, that's like an investor's kitas, so if you want to buy property here, if you want to invest in Bali, then the D12 is an interesting kitas to get. If you don't, like digital nomad kitas or remote workers kitas, should be good, should be solid. You just have a couple of requirements that you need to have like 5K in your bank account and everything. Just make sure you have all the requirements so everything works out well. So now you know where to stay, now you know how you're allowed to stay. Then it's also maybe good to dive a little bit into my personal journey here in Bali after being here for 6 months, in total 8 months actually, because it wasn't all like sunshine, rainbows and all of that. Like I said, I started living in Bali from February 2024. It's 2026 now. Last year I spent 4 months, 2025, in Bali. First time I went to Bali in 2025, I had like a sales job, remote sales position, and I was doing that to keep my head afloat. Then this year I decided to like go all in on my company. Last year I quit the sales position as well, and I got some copywriting positions as well. Now I run a marketing agency where I'm most often responsible for copywriting, email copywriting, advertisement copywriting, and just doing that in a proper way. Looking into all the analytics, see what performs, see what's not performing. That's what I'm doing now. And then besides that, I have the AI agency where we sell CRM implementations, so build out entire CRMs, make sure everything is connected well when it comes to the API keys, building automations, building all kinds of flows to automate your business, making data insightful. That's what I'm keeping myself busy with. Now I'm partnering up with voice agents, so AI voice agents in both the American market and the Dutch market. So yeah, I'm busy with everything and nothing. It requires and asks a lot of time while documenting and filming everything in the meantime. And yeah, I went from literally zero in my bank account at some point to right now I'm at 4K consistently. So that's a massive jump, especially because it's done in like 4 months ish, 4 or 5 months ish. And I'm by far not where I want to be yet, but it's this line of stability that I have right now for being in one place, being in one villa, instead of moving from guest house to villa to guest house to villa. Like I'm in this villa right now for 3 months. After this, I'm probably gonna live together with a really good friend of mine in another villa, and I'm gonna be there for like 6 months. Like we're negotiating terms and conditions right now for that villa, and then I just have a lease for like 6 months, so be in one place, and it really gives me a lot of mental rest. That's where I'm at right now, and that's also how it went. How I got there is basically through networking. So I went to BeWork, my favorite co-working. I networked there a lot. I went to all kinds of events like the Bali Brotherhood, which really helped me through a lot of things as well. But there's going to be a separate video on that in partnership with the Bali Brotherhood, because what they've done for me in the time that I'm here, it's insane when it comes to personal growth, personal development, and the support I was able to get through the Bali Brotherhood. So I'm really, really grateful for that. I'm also just very, very grateful for how things went. At some point, my parents went to Bali. Like last week, they were here. I went to hike Mount Batur with them, which I'm very grateful for as well. That they're in good health to hike Mount Batur with me. That was insane. Like I'm very grateful for that. I also went to Sidaman, so like Mount Batur is in Kintamani. That's beautiful, beautiful nature there. If you want to do hikes and that kind of stuff. And Kintamani, Sidaman is amazing nature, amazing rice fields. I'm not an Ubudian. Ubud is another place where people like to stay. Sometimes it's also more nature, more, I would not necessarily say quiet. Outside of the center, it's more quiet, but if you go to Chamagi or something like that, it's also quiet. But it's a bit more, in Ubud, you have a bit more of the woo-woo crowd, if you ask me. And in Canggu area, you have a bit more of the go-getters, startup, entrepreneurial crowd. It's good to have a certain filter on because not that many people have actually things going on. Like, it's, are they here to just lifestyle max and like get a good lifestyle for cheap, or are they here to use it as a runway to actually build? And some people have really cool things going on here. It just really depends on where are you going and where do you surround yourself with. Again, give it all. Nice networking event where you can find all kinds of people. Then you have Bali Brotherhood, where you also can find all kinds of people. Then you have B-Work, the co-working that I go to, where you also can find all kinds of people. You have the more expensive gyms. Well, there you have people who are lifestyle maxing and just flexing in gym all day but have nothing going on. And you have the people who actually like go to the expensive gyms because they like it. You have Nirvana, their gym sucks. I wouldn't recommend going there, but their recovery is amazing. Then you have Omni. Their gym is actually really good. Recovery is decent. They also have a co-working, but it's less social. Then you have Obsidian. That's full of steroid guys and OnlyFans girls, but it's a really good gym actually. So I like the gym. It's a really good one. Now I go to Undefeated. Personally, it's like a bodybuilding gym. There's not that much happening there. It's just guys with steroids and just pumping iron basically. And now you also, they're just opening right now, House of Kairos. I've heard really good stories about it. I'm still wanting to check it out. And you have Reload Sanctuary. There's a really big hype around it. It's a cool gym. I personally have not been. I have a lot of friends who go there and they say it's a little bit overhyped, it's a little bit crowded, but they do have good machines. But yeah, that's a lot of the look at me people. Uluwatu is also nice. Uluwatu is more down. Amazing beaches. They have a really cool B work as well. I personally haven't been in that B work yet, but like my business partner and friends of mine have. It's really cool. But again, Uluwatu is very. The traffic sucks even more than in Canggu. Traffic. Traffic in Canggu is awful. But I think that's a well known thing. Canggu and around. In general, Bali traffic sucks. Like, Bali traffic is awful. Besides that, yeah, Uluwatu, nice, beautiful beaches, very chill vibe, very calming. They're really building everywhere there, so it's a lot of construction. Where in Canggu area, so like Chamagi, yada yada yada, there's a lot of construction as well, but it's already like quite full. So it's not as much as in Uluwatu. And in Uluwatu, they don't have running water, so you have like water trucks going everywhere, which stops the traffic. So if you're stuck in traffic in Uluwatu, you're actually stuck. Where if you're stuck in traffic here in area Canggu, you're not stuck. It's just harder to get around it. Dating, maybe a good thing to tap into. I've dated some people here in Bali and Canggu. It's all over the place. I think there's a lot of Russians who have a little bit of a stigma around it. There's a lot of Eastern Europeans in general that have a stigma around it. There is all kinds of people in Bali that you can find. You have the locals, like the Indonesian people. Most often they're from Jakarta, now they live here. Very kind, nice people. It depends if you're into Asians or not. What you need to watch out for is just when are you being used and when are you genuinely building something? Because there's a bit of a woo-woo crowd here. A lot of girls here are very spiritual or very like energy works and that kind of stuff. If you're into that, all good, all fine. Personally, I'm a bit more grounded, and I also found the need to be with someone who is a bit more grounded. Maybe it's good to check if they actually have an income, if they actually can sustain themselves. Because sometimes, as a guy, you've literally been used to suspend someone else's runway. And yeah, be careful when dating in Bali, because there's a lot of obnoxious people. There's a lot of like fake people. There's a lot of different types of people that if you're really building something and if you're ambitious and all of that, it might not be worth your time. But if you find the right people, hold on to them, because they're quite rare. In the end, it's always about finding your tribe, finding your crowd, and you do that to showing up to the places that are suitable for you, that make sense for you. Then you probably find the right people there as well. So if you want to move to Bali, this is my honest breakdown. This is what it is. Maybe cost of living, is that a thing? You can make it as expensive as you want. You can get around here for like $1,500, and you can get around here for like $5K. For $1,500, you live a decent, modest life. For $5K, you live like a king. It's as expensive as you want it to be. It really depends. Like, you can eat out, you can cook. you should do whatever the fuck you want. If you like this video, I'm 100% certain that you love this video right here as well. And like, subscribe, do a little rain dance. If you want to know all my business stuff where I dive really into depth about all the business stuff, click on this channel right here. And then I see you in the next one. Visionaries, take action, and ciao.